Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our daily pitching preview show that we do with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. He's given us a lot of great reads recently, including recent games covering Tim Lincecum and Taijuan Walker. I'm going to ask him about both of them. They are slated to start for Thursday, May 14th. Joe Duffy, thanks for being back.
Thank you for having me, Peter.
All right, and at your website, OffshoreInsiders.com, have you been converting all this insightful stuff you tell us to actual winning picks?
It's been a good year. We got off to a splendid start, leveled off just a little bit, but now is our time because a lot of our angles have to do with pitchers with 3 and 5 games under their belt. So it's going to be a great next month or so at OffshoreInsiders.com.
All right. Well, I asked you about Tim Lincecum in his last start. You said you expected him to have another good start last time, and that absolutely did come to pass. 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, and 8 strikeouts. So he wasn't getting lucky there. Now he's going to be on the road at Cincinnati, kind of a tougher assignment. Do we expect another good start from Lincecum? You expect him to struggle quite a bit more here?
Probably the same thing that I said before. Look, while he's pitching well, there's no reason to not keep riding him. And I remember last year, as I think I've said each of the times we've spoken about him, he went in about maybe a 6-game stretch where he looked like the Tim Lincecum, who was one of the most dominating pitchers in baseball. Again, has he found the fountain of youth? I don't know if I would trade for him if I still played fantasy baseball, but I'm just worried about what he's going to do in his next start. And while he's pitching well, keep riding this guy.
But Cincinnati, you know, it's a much more hitter-friendly ballpark. Cincinnati has some big lefty bats in their lineup. You don't think that Lincecum's going to struggle, going to have a big fall here? That this might be one of those starts where, you know, we see his final line is, 5 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, something like that?
It's obviously a possibility, but like I said, Lincecum's been around a long time, and everybody agrees he hasn't been as good of a pitcher in the past few years. But one of the things that I read into when Lincecum, a former stud pitcher, was willing to go to the bullpen, he was willing to do whatever it took to help his team, that Lincecum is willing to make adjustments to stick around, and it just tells me that he's very open-minded to making changes. He's clearly made some positive changes. I'm not all in on Lincecum yet, but if there's an early candidate for comeback player of the year, it's certainly Tim Lincecum, and I see no reason to jump off of the bandwagon now.
All right, fair enough. Another good piece of advice you gave us was in Taijuan Walker's last start. You know, I was thinking maybe at home he'll be a little bit better, but he basically struggled again. Now he's going to be at home again, though, and, Boston's lineup has been struggling as well. What do you think we should expect from Taijuan Walker here? It
gets back to my old theory. I know Taijuan Walker is one of these young pitchers who has the alleged great stuff, and he's, highly touted, but when these guys start to struggle, I think it's a good idea to fade these guys, especially these young guys really have a tendency to maybe go a little bit more with their fastball, just to make sure they throw strikes, and that can come back to haunt them. So remember, these highly touted young pitchers who are struggling have a long history of fading those guys successfully. It's not a matter of what he's going to be a couple months down the road. I think right now is a good time to fade him.
Okay, even against Boston's lineup in Seattle.
Yeah. Well, do you talk about a lineup that seems to be inevitably they've got to explode, and this might be a pretty good circumstance for them.
And then Waka versus Bauer in the 12 o'clock game, St. Louis at Cleveland. Waka's gotten results this year. His strikeouts are down, though. Just 3 strikeouts and 2 walks over his last 2 starts. And then Trevor Bauer on the other side, a ton of potential, but really getting knocked around, the one way or another. He winds up usually giving up a bunch of runs in his starts. Do you think that Waka's success continues and Bauer's struggles continue as well?
No question. This would appear to be a major pitching mismatch. Waka, quality starts 5 of his 6 outings, and Trevor Bauer, 10.61 ERA, 1.053 OPS over his last 2 starts. That's when you combine the on-base percentage and the slugging percentage, and that's a statistic that I definitely like. He is struggling big time, and Waka has really turned into quite the consistent pitcher. And St. Louis, of course, has some pretty impressive bats as well. So it would seem to be everything pointing in St. Louis's direction at this point.
Yep. And again, St. Louis is a team that you kind of want to be betting on. One of the best bets in baseball. Cleveland, the exact opposite, one of the worst bets in baseball overall. All right, that's it from Thursday, March 14th for me, Joe Duffy. What else do you think is notable from the Thursday card?
Well, Vance Worley, he has been struggling a little bit as of late, facing his old team, Aaron Harang. Remember, I keep saying, why not go with Harang? This is a proven veteran. We talk about veterans, their abilities to make adjustments, and Harang in 45 1/3 innings pitched, a 2.38 ERA. Look, he felt he had something to prove. There weren't that many teams that were interested in him, even though he had a pretty good track record. And I'm going to just keep going with Harang for now.
Duly noted. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks so much. Talk to you again very soon.